in, and I'm pretty confident that nothing can shove that screen in. And all I've done on the back side is just go around very close together with the staples. And if you ever had to use these, you probably know what a pain they are. What I do is I grab them with a pair of needle nose pliers, like such, and then I use the pliers instead of my delicate fingers to hold them in place, because these little guys, they're, aside from holding wire, their other purpose in life is to get your thumb smashed for you. So this is a nice little tip if you were looking for one. Another thing too with these is if you can shrink the size of your hammer a little bit, it makes the work a little nicer. You can fit into some spaces that you wouldn't think that you normally could. And there you have it. First side of that triangle is done. Get the camera down here where you can see it. Another trick I use when I'm working with this stuff, since it's all pointy on the edges, is to get a stick and just use that as like a kind of like a press brake. And what you're going to want to do is just kind of get it as straight as you can. You're never going to get it perfect, but this does a lot of the work to hold the thing for you, instead of getting your hand down here and catching one of these loose ends in the palm of your hand, which is no fun. So this guy, just trim him up a little bit. The mirror to the other piece, it may be a little bit uglier, but I think it will still work the same size. You can see here just in the corner, with the fingers pointing, that's the one trouble spot in that whole mirror screen. I just need a little patch across there to feel confident about it, and then the rest of that is good to go. So we're on now to the windows that are going to be facing south. These are going to be down where the chickens can reach them. So what I've done is, on this wire, I've cut off all the little half nubs, because I really hate to have any of this catch a hold of them, and what's supposed to be protecting them actually hurt them. That would be just not cool. Okay, well, the roofing is cut. Here I've got the clear poly, and across the way laying down is the brown side for the north edge of the building. I'm going to do, because I'm concerned about having the openings, is I'm going to run up through here, all the way up through with wooden slats, and that should allow me a little bit more of a secure connection as well. The rest of this looks good. The roofing fits. It's all cut. I was able to get it all out of 2 sheets, so that's a nice nice bonus. What it is just a plastic poly roofing, and I managed to cut it with just a pair of tin snips. The edges, now, they aren't pretty. If I had gone through with a really fine skill saw blade, I probably could have gotten a better edge, but I made sure to cut it so the edges fall under the roof cap that I cut. That way the ugliness is underneath the roof cap, and we get the nice factory edge on the bottom. So what you're looking at here is, for these roofs, the corrugated plastic roofs, they make a end seal that is made of plastic, and you just snap them off to size and screw them in. I don't have that in the budget, so what we're doing is taking some wood. We're going to replicate the pattern and hit it with a saber saw, and it should line up and seal that gap up pretty well. I have got all of these side gaps that would have been, those have all been sealed up, and I put one down the middle for where the sheets join. That'll make the joining of those a little bit nicer, and the ridge cap across the top. So this is what I've come up with. It's not pretty, but it's functional, and it's going to be held on with some smaller nails in the valleys here. It goes across the whole bottom of the chicken house, just above the fascia board. So it appears to mate with the roofing just fine, and I think it'll add a little bit of a niceness to screwing it in. So there you have it. So here it is all mounted up. All it does is just sit flush along that board and stops up some of the gap that the corrugated roofing makes. Nothing fancy, absolute zero budget. Well, not everything lined up exactly as I had hoped, or planned anyway, but it is firmly secure. Nice rows of screws here. I was very careful not to dimple the plastic, only just to hold it down. This thing worked well. It split like I would have expected, but it's it's nice and sealed underneath there. Nothing's gonna crawl in under there. So far it looks good. Gotta figure out the other side and the ridge pole, and then it should be all set. Well, so there you have it. The roof is on. You can probably tell I'm not a roofer. I had to get a little creative with the ridge cap, since the hardware store didn't have a ridge cap for this type of roofing in stock, and I didn't really want to wait. So got both sides on. This non-see-through section here is actually a slightly different ridge profile. So it didn't marry horribly well with the bottom slat, but it did work, and it is nice and sealed. It's watertight, or at least we'll figure out if it's watertight in the next day or two. I'm expecting some rain, but see, I've just driven screws across the ridge line and taken two of these 90 degrees and just set them over. Confident that that's going to keep almost 100% of the water out. There may be a few leaks in the middle. There's one or two screws that missed the connector wood on the non-see-through side, and I'm going to find something to close this up just a bit on this side. And that's about all there is. This end of the coop will always face south. That way there's plenty of light for the girls. And now we're down to just the finish work, making it look really, really good. Well, it's all over now except some finished work. I think this is the point where I'm going to end this video. I've got the doors cut. You see I've got a nesting box now covered, just to shingle that. It's hinged, so it opens up. I still need to make a divider for the inside of there. That's just some small cutting. And there's, the minor finishing stuff. There's fascia board needed here. A clapboard this. Shingle that. Hinge on those doors and build a ramp. And I've got to do a bit of prettying up along here. That stuff I'll probably make a second video for, but here you have just the gist of what it is. You see down in there, they're going to get some good light coming through there. And that is about all. So if you like this here, don't feel shy about subscribing. Throw us a like. I'll link our site and stuff around here in this area. Also, we're going to have our new intro and exit music. That is a gentleman named Kelly Burke. He's a local gentleman who does fantastic music. We're going to be making sure to link his stuff down on the bottom there, should you want to go buy some and support a great local artist. And I believe that is a wrap for this one.